Hi, I'm Perry. Welcome to Retro Positive Review. Today, I'm reviewing the film The Last King of Scotland from 2006, starring Forest Whitaker and James McAvoy. I remember seeing this film in theaters when it came out. It's a very intense theatrical experience. Forest Whitaker, he brings Idi Amin to life in this in a way that really lets you see the duality of this man, how he could have gotten to power in the first place, and how he could fool people into thinking that he was actually going to be good for the country, and then just switch on a dime to this absolutely terrifying, insane personality. And Forest Whitaker absolutely deserves the Best Actor award he got for this. Even though James McAvoy probably has more screen time, I would say this film hinges around the performance of Forest Whitaker, and he really, really is going to leave a lasting impression with you. In fact, I remember the first time, and I think the only time my sister ever watched this film after I bought the DVD. She told me that was a really, really good film, and his performance was so good, but it was so just disturbing that she never wanted to watch it again. So I would recommend not watching this with anyone who's young and impressionable. Definitely not. The film began as an adaptation of Giles Fawden's 1998 novel, a fictionalized account of Idi Amin's dictatorship told through the eyes of a young Scottish doctor. The screenplay was written by Peter Morgan and Jeremy Brock, who shaped the novel's blend of fiction and historical events into a tense political thriller. Director Kevin MacDonald, already known for documentary work, was brought on to give the film a grounded, semi-documentary realism. Casting centered on Forest Whitaker as Idi Amin and James McAvoy as Nicholas Garrigan, supported by Kerry Washington, Simon McBurney, and Gillian Anderson. Cinematographer Anthony Dodd-Mantle and editor Justine Wright shaped the film's gritty, immediate visual style, while Alex Hefts composed the score. The film was produced on a $6 million budget, modest for a political thriller, relying heavily on location shooting and performance-driven storytelling. The film premiered at the Telluride Film Festival on September 1, 2006, marking its first public showing. Distribution was handled by Fox Searchlight Pictures, positioning the film for award season visibility. The film received strong critical acclaim, with particular praise for Whitaker's portrayal of Idi Amin. Whitaker's performance earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, along with numerous other accolades across major festivals and critic circles. On its $6 million budget, the film grossed $55.7 million worldwide, making it relatively successful. The film is now widely regarded as one of the defining political dramas of the 2000s, anchored by Whitaker's chilling, immersive performance and its blend of fictional narrative with real historical atrocities.
And you have most grossly offended your father.
Idi Amin's real history provides the backbone for The Last King of Scotland, and understanding that history helps ground the film's dramatic interpretation. Amin was born between 1924 and 1925 in northwestern Uganda and entered the British colonial army in the mid-1940s. He served in several regional operations, rising through the ranks due to his physical presence, discipline, and willingness to enforce authority. By the time Uganda gained independence in 1962, he was already one of the country's most prominent military figures. His relationship with Prime Minister Milton Obote deteriorated over time, fueled by political tension and accusations of corruption. In January 1971, while Obo was abroad, Amin led a military coup and declared himself president. This is the point where the film's story intersects with history. The charismatic leader who initially wins public support, only for the reality of his rule to become increasingly severe. During Amin's 8 years in power, Uganda experienced widespread human rights abuses, political repression, and economic decline. An estimated 300,000 people were killed during his regime. His 1972 expulsion of Uganda's Asian population, a major event referenced in the film, caused long-term economic damage. As his leadership grew more unpredictable, Uganda became increasingly isolated on the world stage. Amin's downfall came in 1978 when he ordered an invasion of Tanzania. The conflict backfired, and Tanzanian forces, along with Ugandan exiles, captured Kampala in 1979. Amin fled, first to Libya, and later settled in Saudi Arabia, where he lived in exile until his death in 2003. This historical framework is essential to the film's impact. The fictional story of Nicholas Garrigan is set against the very real rise and collapse of one of Africa's most notorious dictators. This film had a relatively modest budget, so the director Kevin MacDonald, he really did a good job with this. It does not seem like a lower budget film. It does a good job of immersing you in what feels like a realistic scenario, and you really get the effect of the filming on location. And he did a really good job with what he had, and I think he needs to be commended for that. Now, some people may be a little put off by the fact that one of the main characters in the film, played by McAvoy, is actually fictitious, and so are a few of the other characters. But it allows you to enter into this world of this dictator in a way that wouldn't otherwise have been possible, because there's probably a lot of missing information that would make doing a documentary drama about this man a little bit difficult without taking a little bit of artistic license. So, no, not all of the events that you see in this film are actually factual, but the backbone of the story is, and I think it's the overall impact the film has on the audience that is important. And it doesn't necessarily lie about anything, it just creates kind of a necessary bridge between the audience and the actual historical facts. So I don't think it hurts the film at all. In fact, going in, I didn't actually even know that McAvoy's character was fictitious at all. So he did a really good job of bringing the original writer's vision to life, because he made me believe that this was a actual historical figure when it was in fact not at all. So this is probably the first time I ever really watched Mr. McAvoy in anything, and he left a very good first impression. Alright, this film is for anyone who's interested in historical dramas, who doesn't mind a little bit of, artistic license being taken when needed, but definitely not for children. It has a lot of mature themes and very disturbing images and circumstances that are portrayed fairly graphically in this film. So take that into consideration before watching this with any younger family members. So it's one of those movies where the rating really is going to be something you're going to want to look at. It's not just something that's thrown up there to protect the filmmakers or anything. This really is an impactful historical, real series of events that have happened, with a little bit of fiction just thrown in to engage the story, engage the audience in the story. So if you don't mind seeing that kind of realism, you're going to really enjoy this film. And like I said before, Forrest Whitaker is going to deliver a performance that you're not going to soon forget. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.